turn our attention, everyone, to the latest trips that President Bola Tinubu has taken, particularly the most recent ones. One to France, where from the reports we have, he had a great time with his French counterparts, President Emmanuel Macron. Of course, it's also on record that the president was on that trip with Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Then, of course, after a few days, he jumped right over to South Africa, where he has met Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of that country. And some pundits now are saying that there is a link between what the president is trying to do with France on the one hand and the South Africa end on the other. And they say that, look, on the one hand, the Nigerian government is trying to, under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, of course, turn attention away gradually from the US to a different bloc altogether, maybe to the EU, using France as an access point of some kind. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, they say, okay, well, it's possible that this interaction that we've seen between the Nigerian leader, Tinubu, and South African President Ramaphosa is also some sort of gateway into the membership of BRICS. That's the contraction, so to speak, of the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But whatever the case may be, the Trump factor has also been brought into the mix, because the argument by many experts is that, well, knowing Trump for what he had done between 2016 and 2020 while he was US president during his first term, and now he has continued to ramp up that rhetoric about what will happen between the US and the rest of the world in terms of immigration and trade and what have you. Nigeria government is now, who knows, maybe validly being concerned that the Trump administration may not favor many nations, including Nigeria, very much in terms of trade and diplomatic interaction and so on and so forth. So it will appear the Nigerian government is trying to put its best foot forward in this regard. But ultimately, the big question we'll try to answer during this conversation this morning is, where does Nigeria stand to benefit from all of this investment? Because when you take foreign trips like this, a lot of taxpayers' money does go into it. So what comes to Nigerians in the final analysis? Joining us this morning is the in-house analyst of Global Television, who basically focuses on security, economy, and politics, both at home and beyond. We're talking about Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. Prof, first of all, I would say is a delight to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
How about we begin with where it all began from, the idea of President Tinubu taking some of these foreign trips. Of course, I'm not going to be here, sit here and be the one to tell you that these trips have also received criticisms from a cross-section of Nigerians. But in all, what is your thoughts about these foreign trips?
One, what is the significance of the foreign trips? What have you done at home that you think you want foreign investors to come in? Heavy investors want security of its investment.
Right.
We have not even finished the first classification of security, not to talk of coming to business and economic security. So the moment your country is not working on the path of giving belief, confidence, and trust on the people, no investors will come in. The only thing we are doing now is we are selling out our products cheaply for exploitation. So you are exploiting the people to your own personal benefit. I think that is what we are doing for now.
Okay, so what should have been the ideal approach to what President Tinubu is doing right now? Are you saying you should have cancelled all of these foreign trips in the first instance?
Yeah, you feast your home before you bring in visitors.
There's not a perfect home.
Nobody is perfect. That is why I said relationship. I have a different meaning of relationship. As a relationship is people coming together, imperfect people coming together to trying to build perfection. So you cannot say anybody is perfect. No society is perfect. Not even the ones we are running to. They are not perfect.
Right.
So you have to look at the imperfections. Look at them, weigh them and now see how you can build perfection out of them. So they are not perfect, we are not perfect. So where is this? We have to build a synergy on how to work.
But as it appears now, Prof, it's like that ship has long sailed. It appears this narrative or this rhetoric is a bit late, because as it stands today, French and Nigeria have signed a sort of pact. You and I may not have exactitude in terms of what specifics are in that agreement, but would you want to unpack that for us quickly?
Yeah, we have given over 25 trillion US dollars to France in a card of game. We forget history easily in Nigeria. When we make those histories repeat. You should remember that we were having issues of Bakassi,
right,
where we conceded Bakassi to Cameroon
under former President Obasanjo.
Yes, under Obasanjo. And if you remember the court verdict that makes us give out Bakassi, Obasanjo was in France just 48 to 24 hours to that judgment. So what went wrong? Why was the judgment against us?
You tell us.
So what part did Obasanjo sign? Obasanjo took some percentage of total FINA F to himself, conceded to himself, and sold Nigeria out. Who has ever discussed this again? Nobody.
But we have those facts. Can we authenticate that claim?
You can't tell me that you were with France and you negotiated, and the negotiation was something that everybody was already celebrating, and now fall back on the eyes of the people, and you are the president of the country, and what are you going to tell me?
It was a purely judicial matter.
Will you go to it has been a judicial matter. It didn't start that year.
Right.
It didn't start 10 years to that time. It didn't start even 20 years to that time. So at what point was it concealed? Why was it not a failure from day one?
You don't suspect there was an element of coincidence in all of this?
There was no coincidence. He knows the fact. It is time for us to wash out our facts and see how we rebuild our society. There is no need claiming holier than none when we are not. And at the end of the day, it falls back on the people. You think the weight of the stick will not wait to you, but you should remember that you have children, you will now have grandchildren, you are going to have great-grandchildren, and the effect of them will be there. You won't be there tomorrow. So
you're saying these pacts we have entered into with France is a wrong move?
A very wrong move.
But what are the implications, quite frankly?
We are supposed to, in fact, for this, I will say, if the president was proactive and he knows that his hands are clean, he's supposed to sack everybody that was involved. The Minister of Justice, the Minister of Mining, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, even the state, the ambassador of Nigeria in France. All of them are supposed to be sacked.
Why would the president do that? Is he not the, as it were, the mastermind, for want of better words?
If the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the NIA DG said, Mr. President, you must not go for this, I don't think he will go.
So you're saying President Tinubu was most likely ill-advised?
Yeah, but both his chief economic advisor, all these people have to go. The Minister of Finance has to go.
But it appears the president does not share your thoughts, because he, from what we know, feels excited about this whole development.
He can feel excited. We know Emmanuel Macron was in Lagos when he came for internship.
Right.
During his regime. So those interactions are interactions that we know.
When the former president was Lagos State Governor?
Yes. Macron was here on internship. So we know the dots. How many times did Emmanuel Macron visit him as governor of Lagos State? And what is the deal today? They should tell us.
So are you saying this move was never in any way in the interest of the everyday Nigerian?
It can be. Did you know how many people went for this? Did you know how much was wasted? Did you know how many jets flew from here? And did you know the type of people he carried? People like Tinubu'S are businessmen. They are not government. They have no sympathy for anybody. And these are the people that were the entourage. You want a businessman not to have his own personal interest. You just follow you because he loves your portfolio.
But the president says these are people he has come to know who have been able to, they have track record in their various fields of endeavor, and as such they can also leverage that to bring value.
There is no track value for a businessman. Has Tinubu been paying Tinubu'S and code they are paying them? What is the remuneration for those people? You think they came to look? No. They came to a businessman is shrewd in all his business dealings. So Tinubu'S and co were not just there because they want to play to the jamboree or they love Tinubu so much. Tinubu was not in their history from primary to secondary to tertiary institutions to where they are. Tinubu came into the surface, so they have their own dealings.
So as it stands right now, it's a scenario of all man for himself and God for all. Is that the point?
That is normal. The normal point everywhere in Nigeria, because we don't go into detailing. What is our economic policy? What is the business policy we have here? What is the industrial policies? What is all about business and economic security? What is all about industrial security? You want somebody, a foreigner, to come and industrialize your nation? How? Who is looking for monopoly? What has happened in Niger, Mali, and other francophone countries? Were they very good to the francophone countries in West Africa?
So if we have seen all of this, Prof, what is then the attraction of Nigeria to France? What is that factor that endears us?
It's interest. It's interest. The interest is how much will I gain personally. It's selfish interest.
I want us to look at some other angle because this is becoming more interesting. This week so far, this is just the middle of the week, a lot of persons have said there are major concern in this, well, let's call it pact for the purpose of this conversation, between Nigeria and France is the mineral resources elements in the mix, right? What would be France's interest in that regard? Because most countries that want to go into this kind of collaboration, so to speak, with Nigeria, the attraction is always crude. Why the mineral resources issue so big in this regard?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. If France is taking home about $25 trillion, how much is Nigeria taking in? Are we going to make $1 trillion out of it? Are we going to make $2 trillion out of it? The answer is no. Because the more we are free, the more we know our direction. So if you are making $25 trillion from Nigeria, and we know that we are going to have 2 or 5 trillion out of that 25 trillion, then we know that we are debt free, the value of our currency will come up, everything will go well. And these are people who don't even know the mineral resources we have in this country. The people in governance today, you tell them, where is this mineral in Nigeria? They don't even know where the mineral is based in Nigeria. And they call themselves the chief executives. So these people mine, collect 25 trillion, pocket it, and give you whatever it is as royalty.
So we are taking full charge.
For several years, they were taking away lithium from this country.
For batteries?
Yes. For several years. For several years, our gold has been going out. not refined. For several years, uranium has been going out of this country, not refined. Who has benefited? Who will tell me today that this is the benefit we have gained from these minerals? Let us not talk of copper, lead, and others, aluminium, and the rest. All these products, they have been going. Now you have given this mineral an authority for France to take. And if they are making $25 trillion, what are we making? And who are the people, who are the Nigerians who are going to benefit from this? So the local contest issue is not any issue any longer. So we are just there looking because somebody is signing the part. He's the chief executive and nobody challenge him because he have an immunity.
Okay, let's talk about something else, Prof, because we need to find a way to weigh in all the factors, all the elements in this conversation. Experts like yourself say, well, you don't have to blame Nigeria for too long because there's the fear of Donald Trump coming, and that's already on the horizon. So Nigeria wants to make his bed early enough, so it has to be such that Donald Trump doesn't take the world by storm and then Nigeria becomes a victim. So they're trying to see how they can quickly, as it were, create an alternative, more like a contingency, to say where Donald Trump policies don't favor us, we can turn to a different bloc altogether. So don't you think in that regard this could be a smart move ultimately?
How does Donald Trump affect Nigeria and our dealings? Donald Trump was there for 4 years.
Right.
And what was the effect on Nigeria? I don't think Donald Trump has his own issues. He has to manage America first before external bodies. Yes, he must have interest in Africa because most of the things come out of Africa. And 50% of what come out of Africa comes out of Nigeria. You understand? So if you are looking at that, you have to know what is Donald Trump's economic policy. What is his economic policy? And how does that economic policy affect Nigeria? How do we key into it? We are supposed to be thinking of keying into other societies, other nations. And that is why I said there's a need to re-educate our mission officers because they are not representing us. I can't send you on a mission to a nation for 4 years, 5 years, and you have not been able to key into that society and build some prospect from it. So we just send people on a mission for political reasons without looking at what is the objectives. How does those missions key up? We have missions in China, we have missions in India, we have missions in America, we have missions in France. Have these people ever keyed in to get something from these societies? No. So if we have about 100 and something or 200 and something missions and nothing is coming in from the foreign base, but we are giving out to missions who are in Nigeria, then there's something we have to look into.
All right, let's look into that quite deeply, Prof, because we're supposed to be such that we make these sort of moves based on foreign policy direction. As it stands today, it appears we are not very clear about Nigeria's foreign policy direction. And in recent times, you realize that not even those in government, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, talk much about foreign policy. As it stands today, what's your analysis of Nigeria's foreign policy?
We are going backward. When you look at the foreign policy, we have a very beautiful blueprint. Everywhere in the world, we have a very beautiful blueprint. We don't know how to implement them. We are not ready to learn, and we are not ready to go on to train ourselves on them. I I was amazed when the Minister of State, Biaka, came out and said she renovated the mission house in Spain and the rest, as if the money came from her pocket. And everybody was clamping for her. And they give her, they tell her
The
to.
context was that she was the one that provided the leadership, which had been missing up until that.
When you provide the leadership, as far as that was not done from your pocket. It is of no distance, because the leader who is here may not even know the shape of it. I have gotten people who said they will reshape the Nigerian House in America, restructure it in UK and some other embassies, just like that. These are the kind of people. You know, we jump to give money to people that we are not supposed to give it to. Tell us what you have achieved. During your tenure as the ambassador of Spain, Nigeria was able to generate $1 billion from Spain.
In terms of
yes, in terms of any other way.
with the consular services and all of that?
Yeah, even hiring of services. Our engineers, our nurses, our doctors, expatriates were able to generate this. These are the projects they undertake in Spain. That is what I want to hear. And that generated $1 billion or 500 million or 100 million US dollars to euro to Nigeria. That is what I want to hear, not that you went to whitewash one building and come back here and take it as a place of recognize. I recognize you.
Well, we need to talk about some of these issues a little further, everyone, but quickly, we're taking a break. When we return, it will return to the trend of BRICS. What exactly does it mean now that the fearless President Bola Tinubu is, in a manner of speaking, romancing South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, and who knows what that would portend going into the future. We'll talk about that shortly. Do stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper review, latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll
appreciate you staying with us on the program still. Let's turn to the issue of BRICS now. What do you say to people who tell you, for example, look, Nigeria should have been a pathfinder regarding initiatives like BRICS, especially from the African standpoint. But now it appears we're trying to dig our way into the membership of that bloc. How much of sense do you find in that?
Well, the BRICS agenda started so many years ago, if people don't know. And a lot of people have lost their life. Leaders have lost their life because of what is established today as BRICS.
Why was that?
Saddam Hussein lost his life. Muammar Gaddafi lost his life. So it's not a new thing that now it has bounced back to Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa coming to accept what was opposed against some 20, 30 years ago. If you care to listen, you'll find out that Saddam Hussein started saying long in the late 80s to early 90s that he has to sell his crude oil and sell his mineral in his own country currency. An American was not comfortable. What people don't know about American is that the American policy is a lazy policy. It's a lazy man policy because you are feeding on nations. Everybody buy things in your currency, and that is what you feed on. So they look at America as a very prosperous nation, whereas there is no prospect in America. And this has made people to become myopic in their thinking, believing that America is a very great nation. If every country decides to sell their products and give services in their own currency, America will collapse. And America knows that. And they have been protecting this for a very long time.
Right.
And when people like Saddam Hussein oppose the American system and said we have our currency too, so we want to trade in our currency, propaganda came against him. And the Western propaganda is a very heated propaganda. Russia tried to come up with it during Gorbachev. It is the same American propaganda. Yes, and it breaks the USSR into what it is today, to different federations.
As against the Soviet Union as it was.
Yes. So because they know the larger they are, the better. So what happens? That propaganda is what we are seeing that today it affected Saddam Hussein, it affected Russia, it affected so many nations, even Libya. And nobody from the security intelligence unit is even discussing it with Nigeria. It has affected Nigeria. Seriously, people don't know.
Do we realize it?
We can't realize it because we don't have anything to say about Nigeria. Nobody knows anything. All the people that come to discuss security on protective level. That is not security. Our educational system is in columbus today. We don't have any industries. In fact, we don't have anything to fall back on. And this was done by Americans for us not to get back to our main objects. And the more we bring in professionals in security, we will be able to give the government directions on how to go and navigate. The more we will still have the same issues. Because a nation that has no good institutions will not function. So we can't function because some of these people we will fall back on are also American agents. So You can't be you can't be a stooge somewhere and think that you are going to fix things. You will never fix them.
Right.
And that is what we are facing. So, and Nigeria has this. So when we come back to BRICS, what is Nigeria going to do in BRICS? What are we going to be friends? Are we going to be friends to Brazil, to Russia, to India, to China, to South Africa? Though we are already friends. But the main swing is the Nigerian journey in BRICS. I think it's just for us to go and start collecting some loans and facilities from BRICS. That is the way I look at it. We are not going to add any value to BRICS.
So is that what other countries are coming to do, to also secure facility for themselves?
No. There is a founding members of BRICS.
Right.
So Brazil has their own agenda. Or Russia has their agenda. India has their agenda. The Chinese agenda is there. And the South Africa agenda. And if you look at how the Chinese has penetrated into Nigeria, in those, what have we done? What do we benefit? What structure have we done to live where we are, to create a conducive business economic environment? Go to industrial and secure the industrial sector and come to production. So if we don't know anything about productive security, how do we secure the productive sector? These are the things we are talking of. If you go to any public institutions in Nigeria today, the academic institutions, first of all, they will tell you it's saturated by cultists. So how long have you which is under citizen and human rights security, how long are you keeping on roving around this, and these cultists even comes to power? They are ministers, they are governors who are cultists in Nigeria.
There's someone who says, what is their private life as long as it doesn't rub off on their public output?
But how many people are being slaughtered every day because of cultism? And how can you call it a private life? A private life is, we call Nigeria as a secular state, so I can decide to worship anything I want to worship. Right. It's different from when you are a cultist taking people's life. That is no longer private life.
Let's go back to this issue of BRICS, by the way. If Nigeria were to join BRICS, and if we woke up tomorrow morning and Nigeria has been able to gain membership of BRICS, for example, what does it mean? You talk about, okay, well, from what you see and what you know, it's not going to go past Nigeria getting loans through BRICS. What are some other advantages that we actually should be able to access and appropriate on account of membership?
Okay, let's do it this way. If we sincerely go into BRICS, then there's an element of prosperity if well managed.
All right.
But in Nigeria, I see today, it's not a society that is ready to manage a potential or fall and enhance its development on a good platform. And if we are into such society where people are not ready to sacrifice, then we miss the link of sacrificial. So I have not seen Nigeria coming into BRICS today as a leading force when we have so many things, dot lines, that we have not been able to fix.
It sounds serious, but Nigeria is already quote unquote friends with China, and we know, I mean, you and I, we are aware that the Chinese influence regarding BRICS and this entire continent of Africa, it's very significant, to put it mildly. Is it not a way of also saying indirectly, in the final analysis, Nigeria will find more alliance with China as against what it has had with US so far, if it eventually joins BRICS?
Did you know how much China has stolen from Nigeria?
Stolen, not invested. Why are we not talking about how much they've invested in Nigeria?
How much did they invest and how much have they stolen? If I give you 10 naira and I take 1,000 naira from you, what investment have I done?
So are you saying Nigeria is being ripped off by the Chinese people?
They know that.
Who does? The Chinese people or Nigeria?
All of them, they know what they are doing. They should come out and tell us.
So how do we go from here? Because when we had former President Muhammadu Buhari, we had former Governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, as Minister of Transportation in this country. And we're talking about railway system, and we still haven't forgotten the chunk of funding that came from the Chinese government at that time. Some person said, look, once you enter into these parks with China, you're, at least in theory, ceding Nigeria away to the Chinese government. And they gave instances of what has happened in certain countries across Africa, for example. How do we, I don't want to say cut ties, because that doesn't even sound realistic, but how do we better manage our relations with these countries in such a way that Nigeria can gain tangible, concrete value over time?
That is why I blame it on the mission offices
across different countries.
Yes, because you are sent on a foreign mission, you have to understand the nation you are sent to, their policy and their work line, and advance your home office on how to relate with such society. We are saying they came to invest here. Nobody is talking of what we do in China. What have we benefited in China? Instead, we buy Chinese products and come and sell there. There's nobody who have said, I've gone to China and I have made $1 million from China by way of this or that or that. So we are failing because our mission officers are not trained on what to benefit from a nation, what they have to look into. It's not just you are sent on a mission and you earn in dollar and you come back home here and build houses. That is not what we are talking of. You are said, if I am Mr. President, I will give every mission office a tax and a way of that mission being productive. If you are not remitting anything back to Nigeria, then that mission office is closed. I don't open an office where there is no profit. You can't be gaining from my country without me gaining from your country. So if my mission office is not working, I close it down.
We understand the president, for example, along the line of what, your thoughts now, Prof, that the president has appointed a couple of ministers, sorry, I should say ambassadors, to be dispersed across different countries of the world. What should be the consideration? We understand, yes, you basically have two categories of these individuals. You have those who are career ambassadors, and then you have those who were appointed politically, so to speak, and all of that. But what should be the yardstick, or if you like, a set of criteria used in appointing someone an ambassador in such a way that their actions, their decisions, and whatever it is they roll out as an initiative will align squarely with the ultimate policy framework of the government?
To me, there is no difference between the career ambassador and the political ambassador. We are supposed to spell it out and say, you have been appointed as an ambassador to this nation. You are going to under a training again for, let's say, to sensitize you on what the mission holds for you. And you should also know that you are building an economic, business and economic template in those nations. You are not just going there to represent the nation alone. You are an image maker. You are a representative of the president. You are the embodiment of the nation. You are a business creator. You are an economic principal. You are an industrial body. You are a productive body. So the person should be somebody who has the nation and knows what the nation has, and is ready to sell that to the foreign nation,
right,
and make something out of it, because it's an office. You have bills to pay there, we have bills to pay here,
so it must be a win-win.
It's not a one-way traffic. So you have a target. If I'm Mr. President, I will give you a target. If you don't meet that target, come back home. We close the office.
But it's not as easy as you see to say, because the president always has a tough time making those choices because of the political interest involved in these appointments. And
there is no. This is the problem we have when we say political interest. It's political interest riding the nation, or the nation ride the interest.
But those interests produced the president in the first instance.
No interest produced Mr. President. Mr. President, yes, was voted in by the populace, not by some single interest.
Even considering the process that gave him the tickets to run on the platform of that party.
Now that people are calling him T-Pain, Emiloko, and different names, is it affecting the interest? Is it their name? Can Babangida's children come to the street?
Maybe if they have reasons.
Can Obasanjo's children come to Abuja and go to one joint and sit down? Can Buhari children who left yesterday goes to relax somewhere in the public without being thrown stone up? So why not you do something that you know that your children will raise their head up and beat their chest that I am the son of so, and they are welcome in every community? Can Obama children goes to anywhere in America and somebody will throw stone on them?
But they always with secret service.
No. The protective mechanism with secret service is different. And the secret service cannot control them. How many secret service? Maybe one or two. Can they control them up? So that is what we are saying. So why not you leave a legacy? Our problem are afraid. My people are planning and afraid because of the hidden things they have done to be able to say this is what I can do and this is what will happen.
Let's begin to wind down, Prof. Would you say at this point that President Tinubu should step on his brakes in terms of how he travels, all of these foreign trips he takes, and focus more on domestic problems? Is that your advice? There was a time we spent over 34 billion chasing foreign investors.
And we lost some results so far. And there have never been results.
Till this point.
Yes, till this point there is no results. So if you calculate how much we have spent on chasing foreign investors, writing MOUs that are not realistic, we have done that now it has cost us so many billions of naira and dollars, and we have achieved nothing. Nothing is on the table. Nothing has changed, because we are not going to the root and look at the dynamics. So to me, the investors will come in. They will come in on their own. When you build that environment, that conducive atmosphere, when you build that system that is no longer clannic, They are ready to come in, begging you that we need to invest in your nation.
And you are saying we have not done that just yet?
We have not even started. Doing that is a different thing. We have not started.
But what would you say should be the, if you like, first line charge for President Tinubu if he were to focus on domestic problems? Because many of these problems revolve around the economy. Of course, like you know, there's the security challenge. Look at what's happening in the the southeast, for example, the IPOB, the ESM problem. Look at what's happening with the tax reform bills as being proposed by the president. Where should he exactly start from? Because apparently it's a potpourri of complicated problems.
If you look at the tax reform bill, I welcome it wholeheartedly.
Why is that?
Because we have to break the chains. I will give you a few examples. MTN headquarters is in Lagos. Is it not?
Right.
So all the VAT goes to Lagos.
Because it's domiciled there.
Yes. So now, it is crazy for anybody to say MTN, Globalcom, Airtel are in Lagos and the VAT are of the benefits of Lagos State.
So you say it is only appropriate that the VAT should go to Lagos?
No. Now, this is the good news. The good news is that because our people are not knowledgeable and they don't know what to do because they just sit down and say we are chief executives, we have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to that. If I am in Kano, then we have 1 million subscribers of MTN. My VAT is being paid in Kano, not Lagos. In a proposal I sent to Delta State and Edo State some years ago is when you come to Edo State or you come to Delta State and you come from Abuja and you are going to spend over 1 week in Edo, you will register your number in Edo. If you don't register, your number is automatically clamped down. You can't use it. It's disabled.
So you have to re-authenticate.
Yes. By so doing, Edo will be making their own money. Delta will be making their money. So if that is being done in every state, I am using my mobile phone in Abuja. So why should I pay VAT to Lagos? Why should Lagos be the beneficiary? So everybody, I'm just using MTN for example. So I can't be buying Liver Brothers products and the VAT goes to Lagos.
Can we say that of the IOCs?
Because with this now, some of these cargoes going to Lagos, we already have the dry ports everywhere. There are places that the government has given cargo dry ports and the rest. We start functioning because you want economic activities in your state to enable you drive home some money.
So in our properly say we should withdraw these bills and further the consultations before we come back to the National Assembly?
There is no consultation made for a bill. A bill is supposed to be, you have to sensitize the people. Well, the angle where my people are looking at it is that
who exactly are you referring to?
Well, some of the state governors and the legislators.
My team local governors, all the governors in the north say they are against it.
Yeah, they are against it because they don't know the prosperity even for them. I'll just make an example with MTN.
Right.
For example, so if the VAT is, let me put it 15 naira tax 1 million. How much is that to Kano? And we have more than 1 million subscribers.
Right.
In Airtel, Glo, Nine Mobile, and MTN. That is just one part of it. So, for some of us who are high-valued customers, how much have you made? So when you now come When you now come that way, you find out that my products that are coming from Labour Brothers, the VAT can never go to Lagos. The VAT stop on my decks.
But the state governors say if these bills are allowed to move forward, certain governors, including particularly in the north, will not be able to pay salaries. Governor of Borno State, Professor Zulum, has been very vehement about his rhetorics in this regard.
Yes, because they don't know the performance index. They have not grown. They all fall back to the federation account.
So you're saying it's a challenge for these governors who have a problem with these bills?
Yeah, what is the three temples of governance? The local government, the state government, and the federal government. These are the executives. So why should I give money to a local government chairman? Are they not generating? Don't they have a revenue office? Are they not allowed to get revenue from the markets and from the parks and the rest? Local government take care of that. So what have they made out of these revenues? What template have they built? Because as I know, there is a Department of Agric in local governments, there is a Department of Works in local government, and other services. So if you look at the local governments, I know that from my own research, local government, every local government in Nigeria can generate at least 24 billion every month.
Right.
So why are they not generating it? Why are they not putting two together? Why must we be talking of unemployment and the rest? When the local government can employ enough, the state can employ enough. The state of Michigan,
in the US,
their budget is more than what Nigerian budget is. In fact, 1 year budget of the state of Michigan can actually finance our budget for 5-10 years.
But most of the automakers in the US, I mean, the automobile industry is domiciled essentially in Michigan. So they are very industrialized. Would that not be unfair comparison if you compare Nigeria with, putting Nigeria side by side, the state of Michigan?
But that is what I am saying. If we bring in some policies and make sure that it is service to the people, not jamboree. Some money was just given to the area councils from the federation account for the first time. And I know of a local government chairman who went to marry 2 wives.
But I'm also sure he funded those weddings from the money.
Whether he funded it or not, it is out of abundance. Why did he marry the 2 wives 2-3 years ago?
We can blame that on coincidence, don't you think? I'd like to say big thank you to Professor Ibrahim Abubakar for these valuable insights you've come to share with us this morning. But this is an ongoing conversation, everyone, and of course you can't take away the fact that we're always going to be here to continue to further the conversation. All right, we'll be speaking with Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. He's Global Television's political and security analyst. We're taking a quick break. When we return, Michael and I will be back here to draw the curtains on the program.